Thanksgiving is coming right around the corner. It's literally in 1 week. Crazy. And well, we decided to host this year, and it's gonna be interesting. But I will say there's a lot less people than originally planned. It's kind of a funny story. But so far, we have my mom and my stepdad, and then my dad. They're all coming. That'll be fun. And it's a good thing that my parents are cordial with each other. Anyway, then there's my husband's dad, but he might not come because he hasn't made up his mind yet. And then there's my husband's stepdad. And, well, he might be bringing his girlfriend, but we're not sure. And I know that his stepdad shouldn't really have a girlfriend because it should be my husband's mom. But it's a sad story because she passed away 11 months ago. It was basically right around Christmas. It was pretty rough. But besides that, now his stepdad has been seeing somebody, and we're happy for him to be able to not be alone. And yeah, so all of those people might be coming. And originally, my husband's sister and her husband was supposed to come. They were supposed to come. And then my husband's brother and his wife and their 5 kids, but they decided not to come because they said their vehicle was broken. That was their excuse. I don't really buy it. I think they didn't really want to come, so they aren't coming. I just think it's mainly annoying because with the brother and them saying that they were coming, I was talking to his wife, so I don't really know what to call her because she's not really my sister-in-law, but yeah, so she was talking about how last year they were supposed to host for her family or something, and then she made all this food and then nobody came, and she was really upset. And I was glad that they didn't do something like that and wait till the last minute to tell us that they weren't coming. But it was kind of interesting because I was thinking, I don't all the way believe that you guys are actually going to come to our house for Thanksgiving. And well, it turns out I was right. They backed out. And I don't know if that's fickle or just not caring. Oh well, it'll be okay. And then with his sister, they decided that they have a child and they have to let him see his mom also on Thanksgiving, so it was too much of an inconvenience to drive an hour to come to Thanksgiving with us and to share him with his mom or whatever. But oh well, I guess they're not coming. Then then we're gonna have my husband's ex-stepsister come. It's kind of a long story too. We decided that because their dad and mom got married and they were step-siblings for a couple years growing up, and then they got divorced and then they got remarried, which is kind of an interesting story in and of itself. But they did that, and then because they got remarried, she was then the stepsister again, and then the dad and mom kind of got divorced again, but not officially. They've been separated for like 5 years, but they never went and got their papers done, and I totally should not be saying all of this. Oh well. Yeah, so then we decided, what are we going to do about the step sibling? Like, she still wanted to be siblings with my husband. And so we decided, might as well, because she and her husband, they have kids, and we have kids, and our kids need cousins for sure. And we love it. We enjoy them so much, and they enjoy us. So win-win. And it's really kind of sad because then with the brother, my husband's brother, and their kids, we hardly ever get to see them. And I'm not all the way sure why. I don't understand why they don't want to hang out with us. It might be because we're crazy or because we don't always see eye to eye, but that's a dumb reason to not want to hang out with your family, in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, we don't get to see them very much. We saw them once this year, and it's November, and we were going to see them next week because they said they were going to come, but because their vehicle is broken, they can't come. And they could just get it fixed, for real. I think he makes plenty of money now, but I know they also blow their money a lot, which is a thing in America. I know we've blown our share of money for sure. Eventually we might get good at managing money, but oh well, it's fine. So anyway, Thanksgiving, with his stepsister, she was planning on coming, and they are still planning on coming, except she called me last week and was like, so we're not going to be staying at your house. We're going to stay at her husband's grandpa's house. And I was pretty bummed, but I also understand that people can make their own choices, and I should be okay with it because it doesn't really matter. Here's a little tip. If you lower your expectations to none, you never get mad about anything. Because expectations make you upset when they're not met. That was a good rhyme, right? Upset and met, they rhyme. Okay. Anyway, that's beside the point. So they decided they didn't want to sleep at our house, and it was probably because they assumed that all the other family members were going to come and stay at our house also. But so maybe they wanted to make my load lighter or something, or maybe they just wanted to make sure they had a comfortable place to stay. But the reasoning that she gave me was they wanted to make sure to spend time with everybody equally. So like our family and then the grandpa's family, I guess. I don't know. They go and see them pretty often, which makes sense because he's family, he's grandpa, and they're not going to have him forever. I mean, we're not promised forever anyway, but yeah. So I was pretty offended at first because I was like, but you said you were coming to our house for Thanksgiving and I wanted to hang out for 2 or 3 days straight. And now they're just coming for the daytime and going away for the nighttime. And it also made me sad because my kids were wanting to have sleepovers with their cousins. But it's not the end of the world. Oh well, at least they're coming, unlike the other 2 siblings that are actually blood siblings. So bizarre. But yeah, we will forgive them and love them, and yeah, we will, because we love our family, and maybe eventually they will all make it a priority to get together around holidays. Like, the only thing that would make sense for them not to come is if it snowed. But I don't know if it's gonna snow or not. I haven't even checked the forecast. We will find out if it's gonna snow or not, and then maybe nobody will come over for our house for Thanksgiving, to our house for Thanksgiving. But I'm still going to make a lot of pies because my husband likes pies for Thanksgiving and Easter. And I should practice making pies more often because they're yummy. But they give you cavities. Oh man. Cavities are crazy. I definitely have had lots of cavities. Definitely. I have some. You can see them. There's 2 of them right there. And then I think I have 2 more on the top. Yeah, that's at least 4. But I'm pretty sure I have more. Anyway, so that's what Thanksgiving is going to be like this year. We're going to have people come over unless it snows. And that's kind of how it is all the time around these parts of the world, because snow is a thing. And if it snows, you can't go everywhere you want to go. So you just have to kind of play it by ear. And you can plan on going and doing something, but you have to be okay that you might not be able to if there's too much snow. And that's what I learned over the past 15 years. Because, yeah, it's been a while of learning in adulthood. I've been an adult for 15 years. Crazy. Bizarre. Anyway, I say anyway too much. And, well, it's gonna be okay. So, there was this time when we would try and go places for holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we would not get to go because it would be snowy, or we would go anyway and just drive really slow, and it makes it take way longer to get there. And yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. So I just remembered a very funny Thanksgiving I had about maybe 16 years ago. I was in college and I wanted to go home for Thanksgiving, and I don't know how it happened, but I was riding in a vehicle with this gal. She was like maybe 25 or something, and I was about 18, and she didn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving, so she asked me, "What are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And then I told her I'm going home, and then she asked if she could come, and I was too nice. I should have told her, "That's really weird. I don't really know you." And it was really, really awkward. Not gonna lie. It was one of the most awkward things ever, because she just came and she was just extremely awkward. Like, oh man, like the tissue thing, she would blow her nose constantly, and that was awkward. But yeah, and she didn't have good social skills, so she didn't really talk a whole lot. She just kind of listened and watched, and it was awkward. So I remember I think I invited another gal, so it was my roommate maybe. Otherwise, I can't remember the other person I brought home for Thanksgiving. But there were the 2 of us, or 3 of us. Like, yeah, so we went to my mom's house, and then we went to my aunt and uncle's house. And this is where it gets fun. So, well, the awkward girl, she was just kind of awkward the whole time. But then my cousin, she was into drugs and stuff, so that wasn't very good. But she was clean for a while, and it was really exciting because she was not touching any alcohol or wine or anything. And at my aunt and uncle's house, there was there's that stuff, wine, I think, or something. So they were serving wine with Thanksgiving, and it was just really, really funny because we decided to have a tradition of some sort, I guess my uncle, and I didn't realize that my uncle was a little bit tipsy. I never really paid attention to that sort of thing growing up. Anyway, he was very boisterous and loud, and he was like, let's all tell everybody what we're thankful for. And so we all had to go around the table and say what we were thankful for. And so my uncle was thankful that my cousin was clean and was able to come to Thanksgiving and everything. And then, like, it was very emotional. Like, it was crazy. And my cousin, because she was also emotional about just being able to be clean and everything, and she decided she was going to take a ketchup bottle and say cheers. And so she would just like put it up in the air and be like cheers, and it was just a funny Thanksgiving that I don't know if I'll ever forget. I knew that the other people were drinking, and I knew that she was not. And yeah, I feel like that story was way more fun in my mind than when I told it out loud. Because I feel like you just had to be there. It was one of those type of stories. You had to be there to understand how funny it was. And it was awkward too, because the awkward girl was there. And then my friend. And I assume my dad, because it was his family, his sister and brother-in-law. And then my grandparents, because they were still alive back then. It's been crazy. 15 years. People just die. They just drop like flies. No, man, that's a weird phrase. Drop like flies. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of interesting because today I saw a fly on my windowsill. And it's the middle of November, almost the end of November. And I know that flies have been pretty much done outside, at least, because it froze and whatnot. But there was a fly in my house apparently, because it had died and fell on my windowsill. And I cleaned that windowsill last week. So it was clean, except for that one fly sitting on it. So I took it off, and I think I put it in the sink because I was too lazy to walk 5 steps over to the trash can. So I guess it went down into my garbage disposal, which, by the way, is a really neat thing. I like garbage disposals. I grew up with my parents having one, and it would break often or something. I don't know. I remember forks or stuff would go down in there, and they'd turn it on, and you'd hear it go, and you're like, oh no, turn it off. And well, I've never had that problem yet. I've lived in this house a year with my garbage disposal, and actually I think it's been a year and 3 months, but that's beside the point. So I've never had anything go into the garbage disposal that shouldn't be there, because we have a strainer type thing over the top of the drain, and so nothing ever goes down there. But I will say that I was kind of an idiot at first, because the garbage disposal, you know how it normally has the black rubber part? Well, mine was kind of chewed up a little bit, so I decided, well, I don't like it, so I'll just rip it all off. So now my drain doesn't have anything right there, and I learned what that was for. I'll tell you what it's for. It is for preventing splashing from when the garbage disposal is going around in circles, right? It splashes a lot down there, and without that rubber flaps all around it, it splashes out of the drain, and that's gross. It's annoying. But if I have the strainer thing right there, it blocks most of it, so it's okay. But now you know, don't rip off the flaps just because they're chewed up. Just leave them. Partly I wanted to rip them off because, one, they were ugly, and two, I felt like a bunch of nasty stuff was just collecting on them, and they were slimy and stuff, so I wanted to clean it. You can't really clean stuff down the drain. It's just gross and black and gunky and all that. Anyway, sorry about that description. So, yeah, about Thanksgiving also, like, with my husband's stepdad, like, we still want him to be a part of our life, even though my mother-in-law has been gone for about a year now, because he's been there for over 15 years. He was married to my husband's mom for a long time. Like, he's been in my husband's life for like 20 years or so. It's been a long time. That's over half his life. Anyway, that is what's going on, and we're excited to have company over, and we're excited to host. And yeah, sometimes life is exciting and sometimes it's not exciting. I don't know why. I had quite the slumpy day the other day. Oh man, I was just feeling extremely blah. Like, I wasn't happy, and I wasn't necessarily sad or angry or something, but yeah, it was just, I didn't feel like doing anything. Those are weird days. I don't like those days. They're miserable to me. I like to be happy, and I like to enjoy life, and I like to, yeah, I like to enjoy life and be happy. It's much more fun than being miserable. That's for sure. So let's end on that note, on being happy and going to sleep happily. All right, well, good night.